Thank you. Thank you so much for coming this afternoon. I really appreciate it. I am Donald Briggs, and this is tomorrow's Thespians. Before we bring the performance out, let's go ahead and meet the judges here to critique them. He's one of the stars of the smash hit A Chorus Line and can be seen in the new JetBlue commercials, and is director and choreographer of a new musical called Romeo and Bernadette. Everybody say hello to Justin Ross, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Up in the cheap seats. They're the best.
And she's an actress, producer, and acting teacher known for her role as Tracy DeSanta in Grand Theft Auto 5. She's currently producing a narrative feature that she wrote and will act in called Born That Way. Let's hear it from Michal Sinnott, everyone. Michal. And he's a famed acting coach and owner of the Artists Playhouse. He's renowned for acting in such films as Howard Stern's Private Parts, Simone, and Finding Forrester. You know who I'm talking about, everybody. Barry Papick.
Thank you, Donald. It's always great to be working with anybody as pretty as you.
Well, thank you, man. Our first performer this afternoon, here to do a piece titled Poor by Jim Chevalier. Please welcome Dareionte Kinder.
We're poor! That's just how it is. Sometimes we get food stamps, sometimes we eat at soup kitchens. You, surprised. Everyone you know lives in a house, right? We don't. We share a hotel room. It's not so bad. We lived in our car for a month once. It could be worse. Believe me, it could be a lot worse. It's not like we don't have fun. My little brother always smiles when I come home. He doesn't know we're poor. He just knows we play with him and people wave at him in the street. As far as he's concerned, the world loves him. Everything is fine. It's not so bad for me either. Don't feel sorry for me or anything. Sure, I'd like to have new clothes like you do, in my own PC. But I use the one at the library. I even have an email. Don't get me wrong. I don't plan to stay poor. I'm gonna get a job soon, after school. And maybe then, after I help out my mom, maybe I can get my own stuff. But most of all, I have to study. Cause I study really hard. It's like I'm in this prison and I'm making this rope ladder. And every new thing I learn is another rung on the ladder. Another thing that's going to get me out. Oh yes, I've got plans. I've got lots of plans. But for now, it's not a good thing or a bad thing, being poor. It's life, you know?
All right, man. All right. Let's find out what the judges thought about that, all right? Okay, Justin.
Hey, you know, I thought you started off great. You did something that I can't think of many other contestants that we've seen, actors who have, you know, just come on and stood there and dared us to look away. And that was your most powerful moment.
Wow, that's great.
And then you started to go into the situation, and I don't know who you were talking to, and I don't know why it was important for you to share this information with this particular person. So subsequently, I didn't really get how you really feel about all of this. And the backpedaling, oh, no, but it's okay. You know, you don't have to feel sorry for me. You know, whatever that, and you know, words. It's never about the words. It's always about what's beneath.
Exactly.
And I didn't get that because I didn't know the who or the why.
Okay.
So that's what I would ask you to ask yourself. And I think it's going to make a world of difference.
Thank you.
I felt like you found that who and why later on in the piece. Like, I felt like you had a good sense of conviction, and I felt you listening. I felt you actually listening to who was speaking to you and responding to them. I want to know what the moment before was that brought this outburst, the we're poor. It was so intense and almost overdramatic. Like, I didn't necessarily feel like it was coming from a point of truth, but I felt like along the line later on you found that truth. So just if you're gonna start off with such an eruption, make sure that it's rooted in a truthful response to whatever the person in front of you is eliciting.
Who were you speaking to?
I was actually speaking to my principal.
To your principal?
Yes, well, never mind. I don't think I can go into the story. But
Okay. I thought you were talking to a girl that you needed to impress.
it was
Yeah, me too.
You know,
it was
but
really iffy. I was on the edge of both. But
Does that mean that you weren't sure when you were doing it?
it was when I was researching and
Okay.
going over who I was going to talk to. It was between both of those. So it was like it was still to a girl, but in a way, it was just.
So make sure you choose someone.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it lives in that in between space, and then that reads to us.
and choose the hottest choice.
Got you.
Would you get the most bang for your buck out of talking to the principal? Maybe, because maybe your whole future, and forget about your future, maybe your little brother is picking up scraps from McDonald's dumpsters because, you know, your mother's a crackhead and, you know, your father, you know, is too, whatever, you know, maybe that choice, the need, you know, or is it the girl? Whatever that is, make the hottest choice. But, you know, like Michal
And when he
said-
says hottest choice, he doesn't mean the best looking.
Yeah. I was struck. I
Yeah.
understood that. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was like, what makes the stakes higher?
The stakes
That's
higher.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
What makes the stakes higher?
But like Michal said, you know, make a choice.
Exactly.
And if you make the wrong one, you'll make the right one the next time.
And I think that was the problem. It's interesting because both of them saw it in a very different way. I thought that you did some really nice work, but I didn't think you hit this out of the ballpark by any means. I thought that what I could see here was the potential of a very good actor, you know, but someone who still needs to do a lot of work. I thought that you weren't strong or brave enough with this piece. You know, you need to take your time and really have the strength to really go for moments and to be brave enough to really go for moments. You know, I think that a character can be fast, an actor can never be fast. You have to slow down and you have to understand the piece, break down the piece, know the transitions, and go for them. You know, I thought this was a really good start. If this was the first time, you know, we were working on this in a session, I'd say, oh, okay, that's great. We have a place to go. But unfortunately, just as a presentation, it wasn't a finished piece.
For sure.
This is Dareionte. Kinder, everybody. Dareionte. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. And our next performer doing a play, from a play called As You Like It by William Shakespeare. I like this name. Please welcome Terra Taylor Knudson.
Silvius, knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile? Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, and yet he talks well. But what care I for words? And yet, words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty, but sure he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him was his complexion. And faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall. Yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so, and yet 'tis well. There was a very pretty redness in his lip. A little redder, and more lusty than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference betwixt the constant red and the mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels, as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet have more cause to hate him than to love him, for what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black, and my hair black. And now I remembered, scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. Oh, all's one. Omittance is no quittance. I will write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it, wilt thou, Silvius? I will write it straight away. The matter is in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him in passing short. Come, go with me, Silvius.
Terra. All right, good. Like I said, I love the name. I got to say it again. Terra Taylor Knudson. Let's start off with
Terra.
Justin.
Hi, Terra. You terror.
Terra.
I bring that up because I kind of got, the terror in Terra. Towards the end, you really, dropped into it and were enjoying it and having fun and owning your power as a woman. And before I forget, just one careful thing. Careful of your accent. It went in and out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sounded very contemporary, and then suddenly,
I know.
the English accent came in, and so
Thank you for that,
choose
yeah.
one,
Yep.
and stick with it. And then I just, would encourage you to bring the two together.
Okay.
The angry woman and the saucy vixen, and it's all she's the same.
Yeah.
But the back and forth, and I'm sure or perhaps my fellow judges will discuss need and all of that behind all of that to get there, but trust yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the word I came to at the very end, was just, I don't think she trusts just how smart and sexy she is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like you. You're I really, and I think this is a great piece for you. It's such a fun monologue, and it's such a good. There's so much there. I think you're hitting all the beats, and you're on a technical level. I feel like you're really what you're doing as an actor. I think when you continue to work on it, just trust that you have so much of it, and then you can get that added layer where the thoughts are coming, in real time, rather than having. Sometimes it's incredibly technically proficient, but as a result, it's not always completely coming in the moment.
Right.
So I think that's just a matter of it, throwing it away, but also hitting the marks. I mean, it's that push and pull, but I think there's so much that you do have, and it's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
that feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think you really hit upon it in that technically it was, A, B, C, D, E. It was all really good. And it's not about throwing it away. It's about making stronger choices. The question is, what turns Terra on? And you have to answer that, or you can't do this piece. You know, this is a piece about sex. It's a piece about lust. And, you know, it's not a piece about love. It's a piece about lust. And you have to understand what's under there. And in order to understand what's under there, you have to make the choices that are going to get you there. And I saw technically a wonderful piece today. But what I didn't see was it in your body, you wanting this man, this boy, that you want to taste this boy, you want to touch this boy, you want to eat this
Barry,
boy.
stop it.
Sorry. Yes.
You're getting me very excited.
Yes.
All those
I want to see all of that.
God, this is a family show.
Nice.
For the evening show.
And I get to say the name again, once again, Terra Taylor Knudson. Thank you so much, Terra. All right, watch yourself. All right, we're going to bring out our final performer for this show, doing from the play Tommy and Me by John Patrick Stanley. Everybody, welcome Noah Kretchmer. Noah Kretchmer, everybody.
All right. Tommy and me. When he loves me in bed, when he puts his arms around me and I can feel his skin, his heart beating, his breath. It's like I get scared because all my guts shake. Sometimes I press my hands against myself because it feels like things are coming loose inside. He just touches me. He starts to barely touch me, and I get so frightened because it's so much. It's so hot. It's so close to losing my mind. It's beyond pleasure. He takes me over. Like there's a storm. Like I'm caught in this storm with electricity and rain and noise, and I'm blind. I mean, I'm seeing things, but just wild shapes flying by, like white flying rain and black shapes. I feel this thing flying up in me like a yellow flame in my hair. I can feel my hair like slowly going up on its toes from my skull. Everything goes up through me, from my belly and my legs to my feet to my head, and then all these tears come out, but they can't get out that way, so they go back down against my throat. Swells down through to where it can't get out, but it can't get out that way, so I expand like to an ocean to hold the size of it, and maybe then it's something you could speak of as pleasure, because then somehow I can hold it. I'm like an ocean with 1,000 moon comets reflecting in me. And then I come back slowly, from such a long way and such a different size. My body, my hair, the bed is soaked. It's torn up and it's soaked. I ain't got a muscle left in me. I'm all eyes. My eyes, like the size of 2 black pools of water in the middle of an endless night, and Tommy is there. And he did it to me. He took me completely. I wasn't me anymore. I was a blast of light out in the stars. What could be better than that? What could be better? It's like getting a die. So you get past death. So you get to the universe, and then you come back to this world where we talk and we fight, and he fucks me over. And it just all seems so unimportant after that. I don't understand how he can do that for me. And then turn around and be such a, well, smaller. It's a small world, this world, in comparison to where we go in bed. And I guess we gotta be smaller in it. Thank you.
Noah Kretchmer. Noah. All right. All right, Noah. Let's find out what's in their minds. All right, Justin.
Yes.
Wow, that's a beautiful piece, and you do very beautifully by it. I personally would have enjoyed a little bit more of a ride. I felt that your upset was so apparent at the top, and the confusion that it didn't have enough of an arc for me. I think there's humor to be mined here. When I say humor, I'm not talking about jokes or going for a joke. I think it's creative hiding that she's doing to find the humor. And then once you did get into the description of what that trip is like, I really would have loved for you to go there. I think you're brave to do this kind of material in the first place. Now, I would love for you to really, I mean, if you're gonna, take this girl on, really let her go there, so that there's this complete journey that by the end, when she does come back, it will be quite a ride.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I really agree with you, Justin. You're really wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've got so much going on, so much truth and conviction and honesty, and I couldn't even stop watching you to take a note. I really was with you. So I agree that you can go further with it, but there's nothing you did that didn't work or was wrong. I mean, it was really rooted in really good, honest work. The one thing I would say is to take that last moment. Don't say thank you before you have the end. Like, give yourself that end.
Okay.
You earned it. So let that last word and line and whatever is going on with her in that moment, let it land, and then come back to yourself.
Okay.
Because you own that space. That's your space, and we're here for you. And you don't need to feel like you have to hurry up at any point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love John Patrick Shanley. I did his only non-successful play in New York, so I know him very well. I thought that you did really wonderful work here, and to the point where I can't even talk about the work. I can only, talk about the direction, and I think Justin was right. Some of the direction was a little off, but the work was really, really solid. There was a place where you said, what could be better than that? We could be better. I thought that directorially, I would have really gone for that. I would have really dropped into that. I would have, it would have been the basis of the whole piece for me. So I thought directorially, it was a little bit off. But I thought the work was just so solid that you really had me going right from the beginning, and you had me dropped in right from the beginning. I think directorially the arc could have been a little bit better, but again, I think the work was so strong that as a director I could take that and I could make that work. And the last thing, of course, was the thank you at the end. I hate that, and because Michal is definitely right. What would happen is you give up your moment, and take us out of that beautiful moment.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
this is
you.
Noah Kretchmer. Noah, great job, great job, all right? Okay, good. All right, well, this brings us to the end of the show. I'm going to ask the three performers to come back out and join me, please. Come on out, performers, come on out. I get to say Terra's name once again before we go, so I said. Wow, once again, we're at the end of the show. Once again, I want to thank these beautiful performers. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it, okay? Is there anything any of you would like to say about any of the comments that you received?
Thank you.
I thought it was great criticism. Everything that you were saying was definitely going through my head. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for the feedback. Excellent.
Okay, good. Anything else any of you three want to say before we close?
I just want to acknowledge brave seemed to be the catchword today. I think that each of you gave a very brave performance, and just to tailgate with my fellow judges on that last critique. Yes, you don't have to say thank you. It's our job to say thank you. You've done your job. Again, just really lovely work, smart choices. And it's true, Barry, you hit it. The work was great that you did. But sometimes when you're auditioning, you have to be your own director. You have to self-direct. And that in and of itself is a craft. But hopefully some of the stuff that we've talked about over the seasons in terms of dropping in, all those, the moment before, all that technical jargon, it's there for a reason. That will help.
Okay, you want to say something quickly, Michal?
This is such a strong group. This is one of the strongest groups I've seen. You guys did such great work. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I can see all three of you working a lot, and know that there's work out there for every one of you. You did some really nice work today, and we appreciate that.
All right, thank you again to Terra Taylor Knudson, Dareionte Kinder, and Noah Kretchmer. Thank the judges, thank the audience, thank the crew. Thank you guys. See us the next time around, all right?